Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State has barred chairmen of local government areas in the state from leaving their council headquarters without his approval. According to him, the approval should be sought through the Special Advisor, Bureau for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, BLGCA. The governor, who handed down the directive to the 23 chairmen at a meeting he held with them in Makurdi recently, said the action became necessary to enable them take full charge of their respective councils. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has said persons living with disability who wish to sit for the 2024-2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Exam can register at no cost. The JAMB Registrar, Ishak Oloyode, disclosed this while rolling out the registration process for interested candidates across the country, while announcing that registration for the 2024 matriculation examination, which has commenced on Monday, the 15th of January 2024. Oloyede said JAMB will issue free application documents to all categories persons living with disability as a form of support to them. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, has said that the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas necessitated the change from visit to biblical site in Israel and Jordan to site in Greece and Rome. Reverend Pam made this known recently while addressing journalists in Abuja, and emphasized that the security and welfare of the pilgrims remain the prime concern of the NCPC. He noted that the Commission had suspended the December 2023 pilgrimage to Israel due to the same concern, adding that after a prolonged wait for the Israel-Hamas conflict, which began on October 7, to be over, he had personally led a research team to assess and inspect accommodation facilities and existing biblical site in Greece and Rome. Pam explained that the new pilgrimage site will include places where Apostle Paul, otherwise known as St. Paul, passionately spread the teaching of Jesus Christ, converting polytheists and idol worshippers through extensive physical journeys and remarkable contributions that remain very significant parts of the New Testament. This is CTV News. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back.
Why bother about rent when you can own it through mortgage? Platinum Mortgage Bank Limited has assisted thousands of Nigerians achieve their dream of home ownership and also become landlords. Why not be part of the success story? Sign up today by walking into any of our branches to start your dream home process. Trust me, in less than 48 hours, you will be doing a housewarming party. Visit www.pmbl-ng.com. Our properties are fast selling at Becky Garden Estate, Karo, Abuja, Commonwealth Luxury Flats, Gadua District, Abuja, Trademore Estate, Umuahia, Mainfa Estate, Akpere Aku, Makurdi, Trademore Zion Hills Estate, Enugu. Call or WhatsApp on 0803-374-4159 or 0705-275-1582. Follow us on all social media platforms. Platinum Mortgage Bank Limited. From hope to home.
You are welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is CTV News. Bishop Rolando Alvarez and Bishop of Isidora del Carmen, who had been in prison since February and December 2023 respectively, have been released and have arrived in Rome, along with other priests and seminarians. We bring you the report.
Two bishops who were imprisoned by the Nicaraguan Ortega regime, Rolando Alvarez and Isidoro del Carmen, are now in Rome, along with 15 other priests and 2 seminarians. They all arrived in the Eternal City on January 14th. Bishop Rolando Alvarez had been in prison since February, and Bishop Isidoro del Carmen since December 2023. The last public appeal Pope Francis made for peace in Nicaragua was during the Angelus on January 1st.
Seguo con preoccupazione quanto sta avvenendo in Nicaragua, dove vescovi e sacerdoti sono stati privati della libertà. Esprimo ad essi, alle loro famiglie e all'intera Chiesa nel Paese la mia vicinanza nella preghiera. Alla preghiera insistente invito pure tutti voi qui presenti e tutto il popolo di Dio, mentre auspico che si cerchi sempre il cammino del dialogo per superare le difficoltà.
This group of Nicaraguans joins the 12 other priests from the country who arrived in Rome in October. Relations between the Nicaraguan Ortega regime and the church have deteriorated in recent years. In addition to imprisoning priests and bishops, the government expropriated a Catholic university and expelled the Vatican nuncio.
A Uruguayan plane on its way to Chile crashed in the Andes mountain with only 16 survivors left. It took 72 days to be rescued. Survivor Gustavo Zabino narrated his experience.
This story shocked the world in 1972. A Uruguayan plane on its way to Chile crashed in the Andes Mountains with 5 crew members and 40 passengers on board. It took 72 days for the passengers to be rescued. Only 16 survived in extreme conditions, which included harsh weather, disease, thirst, and hunger, even to the point of resorting to eating the bodies of those who had died in order to survive.
What we went through is not a major trauma. It is a very rich experience in which we learned a lot through pain, but we have nothing but gratitude and nothing to regret. And I never woke up with a nightmare or regretted anything. If it were my turn to live through the same thing tomorrow, we would do it much quicker, and maybe someone else would be saved.
When the 16 returned home, the Pope at the time, Paul VI, sent them a telegram. According to the survivors, it said that God had put man on earth to live, not to die, and that if they had not eaten that meat, it would have been considered suicide. Gustavo Zerbino is one of the survivors of that tragedy. In 2014, he recounted how the group experienced the presence of God in that mountain range, and how they prayed daily to the Virgin Mary for help.
I believe in God. On the mountain, on that gigantic mountain, man is dwarfed. He is so small, everything in his mind is made relative, and he contemplates the presence of God, which is very big. The God we met in the Andes was a kind God who wanted the best for us. We asked the Virgin Mary for strength. We prayed to her every night so that we would not fall asleep and freeze to death. We asked her for strength. We asked her for peace.
For the 50th anniversary of the crash, Pope Francis wrote a letter to the survivors. In it, he emphasized their strength and stressed that no one is saved on their own, but that it is necessary to have the support of others. The story of Zerbino and the other survivors is one of friendship, and today, a cross stands on the top of the mountain to remember those who died.
Bernini's canopy at St. Peter's Basilica is undergoing renovation. The necessity to preserve the canopy's splendor was the primary driving force for the project's inception, given the last significant restoration occurred in 1758. We bring you the report.
After almost 300 years, the famous bronze canopy in St. Peter's Basilica is getting a facelift. Time and the microclimate within the basilica has led to the deterioration of original designs. With the canopy's last major restoration in 1758, the basis for launching this project was mainly out of the need to conserve its grandeur.
This necessary intervention is being undertaken for the first time in such a systematic and comprehensive way, after 250 years since the major restorations that were done in the 1700s, and exactly 400 years after work on the canopy began.
But the Cardinal clarifies that the work will not stop papal activities in the basilica. Weighing in at over 60 tons and towering 10 stories high, this masterpiece of Italian art and architecture will be under scaffolding for 10 months. The Order of the Knights of Columbus are funding this restoration work that will cost more than $750,000.
The decision to support the restoration of the baldacchino of St. Peter's Basilica was an easy decision for the Knights of Columbus to make. This project also fits in very well with the mission of the Knights of Columbus and with our history of service to the Church, and especially service to the successors of Peter.
The canopy is expected to be finished before the opening of the Holy Door in St. Peter's Basilica for the Jubilee of 2025.
Up next is entertainment and business news.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment and Business Report on CTV News. I am Ojo Blessing. On the business report, Dangote Refinery gears up for production after receiving 6 million barrels of crude from NNPC. The Dangote Group announced the delivery of the last batch of crude supply. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery on Monday achieved what may be described as final proof of its readiness to commence production of refined petroleum products with a receipt of the 6th batch of 1 million barrels of crude supplied by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC. NNPC begins search for private operators to maintain refurbished Port Harcourt refinery. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, called for expression of interest from qualified oil and gas firms for the operation and maintenance of the newly refurbished Port Harcourt refinery. In a notice to its would-be client, the National Oil Company stated that when the process is completed, the outcome would help improve dependability and sustainability to meet the country's fuel supply and energy security requirements. Pro-Palestinian activists arrested over suspected plot to disrupt London Stock Exchange. 6 people were arrested over a suspected plot to disrupt the London Stock Exchange when the market opened for trade. Detectives began an investigation after information was passed to the Metropolitan Police by the Daily Express newspaper. It was alleged that activists from the Palestine Action Group intended to target the exchange to cause damage and prevent it from opening for trading.
There are activities that step beyond legitimate protest, and clearly disrupting other people's private business would definitely be one of those. Specific definition around violence, threats of violence, and intimidation to pursue an ideological aim. Protest is obviously very different in as much as, yes, quite often they are pursuing an ideological thought, but without those threats of violence.
Announces retirement from music. It's been a journey, Terry G captioned the heartfelt video in which he announced he was quitting music. The pop icon, known for his personal and hit tracks like Apakumaster and Free Madness, the street hop legend leaves behind a musical legacy, energetic performance, and unique sounds that will be remembered for years to come. Fans remain hopeful that his legacy will endure through his timeless hits. Ndani's TV YouTube series, Skinny Girl in Transit, is scheduled to drop this January. January 26, 2024 has been announced as the set date for the debut. The highly anticipated 7th season, just like previous seasons, will be on the Ndani TV YouTube channel. Kunle Remi, BBN, Diana Rousset, and Tony Umez have all joined the cast. After 3 years of silence since the last episode was aired, directed by Bumi Ajakaye, now fans can rest knowing that their favorite arts and love stories will return in 2 weeks.
And that's all on Entertainment and Business Report. I remain Ojo Blessing. Thanks for staying with us.
And that's all on CTV News. But before we go, another look at the headlines. Fiducia supplicants, don't abandon your faith because of ignorance. Kagama urges faithful. Yola Diocese donate relief materials to Bokos IDPs. Formerly incarcerated bishops from Nicaragua arrive in Rome. Bernini's canopy at St. Peter's Basilica undergoes renovation nearly 300 years later. For information, please log on to www.ctvnigeria.org. You can follow us on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thanks for watching. My name is Yomi Mohammed.